How do you know that Muhammad spoke to an angel?
Okay, in the Quran.
Right, but that's circular logic, isn't it? Because what you're saying is, the Quran says that Muhammad spoke to an angel, therefore Muhammad spoke to an angel, but that's circular reasoning. How do you know that Muhammad spoke to an angel? Other than that, the Quran says so. If the Quran was revealed by a demon, and the demon said, I'm an angel, how would you know that he wasn't lying to you?
Listen.
Which Arabic do you
Are you guys Muslims? Are you
Muslims.
Sunni, Shia? Okay, so let's all talk together.
Please explain for us. يقول لها احنا نحترم المسيح، عندنا في هناك كنايس والمسيح اصدقائنا، احنا ما نهتم بالبخاري لان احنا الشيعة نختلف.
Yeah, we're not talking about Bukhari. I moved the conversation away from Bukhari.
عم بيسألك ليش انت عم بتقول كيف صحيح انه نبي محمد عليه السلام حكى مع جبريل.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make.
قل لي كيف انت دريت انه السيد المسيح تكلم مع جبريل.
And so now he's asking, how come you think that? So why would you think? How can you prove that your prophet or Jesus spoke to Angel Gabriel on your side?
So let's do this conversation logically. When someone asks you a question, the answer is not to ask a question back. I am happy.
My Arabic is not this advanced.
Listen, I'm happy to have that conversation. I'll explain to you why I believe Jesus is reliable, right? But my point is, Muslims have no grounding to say that Muhammad spoke to the angel Gabriel, right?
In what way?
Right, I'll explain why. For instance.
Are you Muslim?
No, I'm Christian, man.
Okay.
So for instance, the only person, as I understand it, you tell me if you agree or disagree with this story. Muhammad had an experience in the cave. He thought he was being possessed by a jinn. He went to his wife Khadija. His wife Khadija took him to a Christian uncle of hers, and that Christian uncle of hers told him that he was speaking to the angel Gabriel. Is that something you've learned in the masjid, or have you?
No, I've never heard this.
You've never heard. What have you heard as to the reason why?
بس انت شو بدك تقول له؟
انا اقول له انه السيد المسيح مثل ما انه نبي من انبياء الله سيدنا محمد.
They don't want to be filmed from the face, film them from the back.
بس هو ما يؤمن فيه. اللي انت ما تؤمن بمحمد.
ما فيك تحط الترادكسيون وتقول له مع جوجل عشان صراحة ما عم بيفهم.
How about we do this a different way? I have a suggestion. How about we do this?
I'm not here to debate the Turkish.
No, how about we do this a different way? You ask me whatever questions you want to ask about Christianity, and I just answer those questions. Because I feel that if I ask you questions about Islam, you can't answer them, and that's fair.
It's not about that. It's the fact. It's just that I don't think you guys are understanding each other. That's it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a language gap.
Yeah. So I'm asking you.
And I don't even speak Arabic. That's why.
So I'm giving you the opportunity to ask me questions about Christianity.
But we know everything what you believe. You believe in the Trinity. You believe in I don't know. You have different beliefs in Christianity.
So let me answer the question in the reverse. How do we know that Christianity is true?
It was mass distributed. Is that it?
No, I really wasn't going to say that.
Go for it.
I really wasn't going to say that. It's about the resurrection of Christ, right? If you look into the history neutrally of 2,000 years ago, about what happened 2,000 years ago, there are certain things that are just indisputable facts. They're accepted by everybody. For instance, Christ was crucified. It's accepted that he died on a cross. That the Christian faith started in Jerusalem, and that the people started preaching that Christ had risen from the dead, right? That Paul, who persecuted the church, converted and became a Christian, that James, who was the brother of the Lord, who was a bit unsure about Jesus, then became one of his followers. These are facts that historians accept. They're not really disputable. Now, you don't have to believe in the resurrection to believe in those facts. Those facts are true whether you believe in the resurrection or not. But those facts do need to be explained. Like another one is the empty tomb, the fact that Christ's tomb was empty, right? You've got to have an understanding of you've got to be able to explain what brought about those series of events. What would convince you, for instance, that a man you knew was dead had come back to life? What would convince you?
The power of God is what will convince me.
The power of God?
Yeah? The only thing that will convince me.
Right, and how would that power of God express itself to you to convince you? Would it be something you see, something you hear? Or would God speak to you? Like, how do you see that?
Me personally, I cannot believe anything after the Quran. I don't believe anything after.
Well, that's great. The Bible's before the Quran, so we're still in luck.
No, I mean, like, as of today, I can explain. For me, my Quran is the Quran.
Yeah. Okay. But, okay.
What's your point?
Well, if we want to talk about Quran, my point about the Quran is that...
why Muhammad...
No, that's not what I was going to say about the Quran.
Okay.
They only want to be filmed from the back. Thank you. So, my point about the Quran is that it's not reliable. It's got contradictions in it. It's got errors in it. It's factually false.
The Quran?
Yes, the Quran.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you some examples if you like. Yeah.
عم بيقول إنه القرآن مش صحيح.
كيف أنت قررت مش صحيح من عندك? How you decided the Quran is not true?
Right, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Fair question. I'll give you an answer. So, for instance, the Quran says Christ was not crucified. You know that.
Yeah.
It says it was made to appear that way. Mm-hmm. Right, we both know that. So that's
For you, he was crucified. I'm asking.
Everybody says that Christ was crucified, not just Christians. Romans said Christ was crucified. The Jews said Christ was crucified. The Christians said Christ was crucified. Every historian that ever looks into this, including Muslims, like Ravi, what's his name? Ravi Islam. I've forgotten his name. It'll come to me. I can look at him. When you look into the history, when we look into any history, when there's a dispute or any claim about what's happened, you look for witnesses, don't you? Right? So we've got New Testament saying Christ was crucified. We've got non-Christian sources like Jewish and Roman sources saying Christ was crucified. And these people were not the friends of Christians. So when your enemies are agreeing with you that something happened, it's fair to say that something happened. Agreed? Right. So if the Quran, 700 years later, in a completely different land, a completely different language, by someone who never witnessed any of the events, contradicts what's established history, reason tells you that you should reject what the Quran says. Do you understand my logic?
Yes.
Right. Do you want to reply to that, or shall I go on? Shall I give other examples? Okay, another example. So the Quran has internal contradictions. So where one verse contradicts another verse.
Okay, let me translate this to him because he was asking what you were saying.
Okay.
عم بيقول إنه بالقرآن عم بيقولوا إن الله بيقول في اثنين سورة إنه مش واحد عم بيcontradict الثاني.
يعني وحدة ما تفهم.
Exactly. إيه.
Okay.
Sorry? Let me finish my conversation with these ladies and then I'll come and talk to you.
With all due respect, we just wanted to listen.
I'll tell you what. Let me give you a gift because you've been so charitable and so kind in listening to me. I'll give you a gift and then I'll go talk to this guy. Yeah?
No, thank you.
لا أكبر. قل لي إذا هي وحدة ما تشبه الثانية. قل لي أنت ما تفهم الإنجيل محرف.
هو ما بده إيه؟
هلا قل لي الإنجيل.
There you go. That's for you.
عم بيقول إنه هو.
Okay.
Give me a gift, brother.
You can't. Let me see if I got something. Wait. I might got something in Arabic. There you go.
ما بده إنه.
Something in Arabic.